Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. So we're going to get into this March 1st energy and see what's coming out in the tarot. What's going on with this March 1st energy? The Eight of Pentacles. Oh, and the Six of Swords are the first two cards coming out. So with the Empress on the bottom. Wow. Okay. So there's some sort of movement going on within a business opportunity. Okay, there was illusions here. Seven of Cups is on the top here. You know, it's about getting these new perspectives. For some of you, there's some sort of movement where you are feeling trapped and stuck with like business, finances, career, or something. You're moving away from like a period where you've been stuck in something. You know how like maybe you finally have like made your decision about something, or you've made some sort of choice. Maybe you had multiple like choices or avenues or ways that you could pursue something, and it's like now you have finally picked your path. You finally know the direction that you're going. You know, this new moon's Ace of Swords. You got the clarity. This new moon really brought in realization for some of you, like, yeah, like you finally see what was holding you back or what you were waiting on, what sort of movement. This is an interesting Six of Swords too. If you look, it's not the standard in the boat, right? It's a swan there with the baby bird on its back, and it's walking through the pathway of those swords. It's almost like things are being moved for you to advance forward, right? It's like things are being illuminated for you. And with that moon, and I know the new moon, you know, that looks like a full moon, but things are being illuminated. So I really feel the path is being illuminated for you, you know. And it's like I often say that the new moon it's just like full moon energy for me with cycles closing out and all that. That's why I always say like around new moons and full moons, definitely be setting your intentions, planting your seeds, making your wishes. But a lot of times cycles and things come to a big close with this new moon energy, because sometimes the new beginnings that come in, they bring in such significant change that they close cycles. You know how sometimes it's like say for instance you get offered a promotion or a new job. It's going to have you close out your old cycle, right? For you to step into this new path, right? That's what I mean. I'm getting this leveling up energy here. Maybe for some of you, like you didn't know how to, because I was feeling like illusions. Okay. Like you didn't have the clarity, right? Maybe some things were in your way too, because the Six of Swords is like moving out of troubling times. Okay. Let's find out more here. Four of Swords. Yeah, for some of you, you needed to heal from something. Okay, because the Four of Swords is about healing. So for some of you, maybe you finally healed, you released something that was holding you back. Okay. So something you released, cycles and patterns definitely closing out with this final new moon. Hierophant came right back out. It was on the bottom over here next to the Magician. So it's like if you had things that were blocking what you were manifesting and trying to create, like they're coming in now. They're here for you now. I feel they were, but there were the Ten of Pentacles, your highest timeline. There were things that were blocking you. The Emperor just jumped out over here. The Emperor. We already seen the Empress and now the Emperor with the Hierophant. This is beautiful. Oh my gosh. This is powerful connections coming together. The Magician is right back out. And I wanted to pull it with these three. Strength, or these two. Strength and Three of Wands. Having the power and strength to pursue these things just off at the distance. It's like you see what's obtainable for you now. You see how to bring things to you. You know, the Empress attracts what she deserves and desires. It's a kitty. Yeah, your highest timeline, Ten of Pentacles. So you're finally coming into an alignment. Things are being, I'm getting things are being removed for you. Yeah, Nine of Swords, all these blockages and these obstacles that have been in your way, they're getting removed. They're getting moved out the way here. Ace of Wands, you're getting this passionate new beginning, this fresh start. I'm getting divine help too. You have divine help. The Hanged Man, reversed. It's like, you know, not wanting to let go of something, but I'm feeling a different way to perceive this. Hold on. What are the other meanings of it reversed? It can indicate that you are feeling stuck and restricted due to a period or a pause in your life. It shows the impulsiveness in your decisions and making rash decisions without considering the consequences. Your inner discernment is making you feel reluctant and distracted from the real issues. You may be unhappy with the way a relationship is going at the moment. It can also signify that either your partner may be feeling. Looking at other meanings. I don't want to go too in depth, right? If this is money or career, it can indicate that you're feeling uncertain about your career path or feel like your career has been stagnant. You may be unclear. Okay, that's more what I'm feeling because I'm feeling it more with career and not love. So you were unsure about how things were going to go. And this is kind of what I feel like. You were unsure about how things were going, but I feel that you see this pathway opening up for you. And it's like you're headed down this pathway. And I think, like, you know, like it's going in this direction. Like it has to be the way I'm supposed to be going. Because, you know, sometimes like you're guided a path and you're just, you know, that that's where you're supposed to be. Like you feel it, but you can't see the outcome yet. It's like going into the unknown. Like you are being led. That's why I feel that you're reluctant about letting go. You know, sometimes it's like when you're starting a new job, right? Like you you don't really know how it's going to work out for you, but it's like you kind of know. It's just I remember when I took a promotion and it got up to an assistant manager, like I was offered an assistant manager position, but it was at a store that was farther away. And I was hiding a pregnancy at this time too, I remember. And I was like, I'm going to have to commute like over an hour away. And I was like, but this would be good to take on a salaried position. I've got my daughter coming. I was like, it was unknown, right? It was like, I know that um, it was just like the fact that it was coming in at a time that I really needed to feel more secure and stable. And then I knew that I would be able to get maternity leave, time off, things like that. I knew that I'm like, this is all happening for a reason. So I trusted it, right? And so, but it was like I was nervous about it, but just the timing, and I knew it was moving me out of a stressful situation where I wouldn't have to be worrying about hours and doing all of this. I knew I'd get to sit down more, have my office, things like that. And I'm like, this is coming about, you know, for a reason. So it was a good movement at that time, right? And I worked through it, right? And I ended up having to get a different vehicle and everything because I had a manual, a little sports car, and driving that far with my daughter, I was like, nope. So it ended up leading me down this path of, you know, then I was looking and knowing that I needed to get a new car. So I ended up getting, you know, a sedan where it was an automatic and not a manual to make the ride easier. So just all of these things kind of fell into place, you know, and I was really glad that I did that, right? Because then I had a safer car for my newborn, you know, and all of that. So like, I feel like, you know, that this is like a movement that is going to be good for you, but you might be a little bit uncertain because you don't know. Like I remember too, I was like the youngest in the company too to get offered a sales manager position, and I was like right under a strike. They told me within 6 months you could have your own store and everything, and I was the youngest, and I was just like, am I ready to do this? And I remember like when I'd be on the conference calls and everything, and I'm like, what am I even doing? I don't really know the projections and the sales and all of this, but I was having to learn as I was going, and it was fun, right? And I'm really glad that I pursued that and took that on, right? And so you know, and you can always change things up. Like literally, like after I had my daughter and everything, I ended up declining the position, like, and not going back because things were challenging. Right at 6 weeks old, I was then a single mom because her dad had abandoned me and all of that. So it didn't work out, but still, like, I would not take back the experience or anything. You know, everything. You know what I mean, is part of your path. Like things really do work out, right? And then it's like, you know, too, lots of times once moms have children, you know, they love their kids so much, and they're only little for so long that you really want to take advantage of that time when they're little, you know, and stuff. So when you do get to be a stay-at-home mom, like it's a very beautiful thing, and it's a lot to raise a whole human being, right? Like it drives me crazy when people are like, oh, moms, like you need to get a job and things like that. Having a child is having a full-time job, right? And especially, like, I get it, like in this world, right, you need to have two incomes and all of that, but there needs to be shared responsibility. Like for a man to think that a woman is going to work, raise the children, clean the house, do all the cooking, the cleaning, the shopping, and all of that, you know, taking care of the home, working, raise all of that, and no, they cannot possibly do everything. There needs to be that share and that equal, you know, there needs to be help. It's not doing everything, but you taking turns cooking, you're helping out with the laundry, you're both doing the shopping, things like that if you're both working. Now, if you're one where you're going to stay at home and raise the family and all of that, then yes, then when, you know, the other parent's out working, then no, they shouldn't have to come home and do all of that stuff. I mean, it's beautiful that they help because it gets to be a lot, especially when you have multiple children. Like I have 4, right? And I know that I chose that, right? But I also didn't choose to raise my children all by myself, right? And I've been very stubborn a lot with this. Like that's what's so beautiful about my boyfriend is that he's jumped in taking on the roles of all of my children's fathers, and he's out working multiple jobs to support us, right? And still at home helping, cooking, cleaning, doing all of those things and supporting these children, right? Like it's a beautiful thing, right? So like, and I never would have thought, like never would have thought that he would have been the one to, like, because we knew each other back in our 20s when we worked together, and I remember I didn't pursue things then because I didn't think that he was family type, wanting to settle down and all of this, because, you know, when men are in their 20s, I feel that's when they're in that player energy, because men do need to experience different connections and that hunt type of energy. Just a second, Maddie, turn it down, please. Just like that masculine energy, like the men need to be like the hunters, like the going out, the exploring, and getting to feel you know. And it's like, if you don't get to go out and explore and have that freedom and have those choices and get to experience different things, you're going to feel too isolated into, they're not ready, I feel, to jump into like the home family structure yet, because they need to experience that. You know, that's why a lot of times, like the masculines, they need to be the ones that, you know, bring in the money to put the food on the table and things like that. And they can feel inadequate if they're not the breadwinners. Now, I know that there's all different, and there's a lot of beautiful masculines that take on the home at this time in the roles. And that's what I mean. Like, it's so beautiful, but it's all about the shared responsibility. And, you know, when you can find that balance, that it's such a beautiful thing, right? But there definitely needs to be this balance. But I don't know why I'm talking so much about family. Maybe for some of you, like, you're realizing this, right? So maybe you need to realize that you need help. Like I remember, like I was so stubborn too, where I was like, no, this is not your responsibility. You don't have to do all of this. You don't, you know. And it's just like, even if you are in a relationship with somebody and you're raising children together, like say you're together, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're together with them, like, and you're together with them for a couple of years, like, even though they may just be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if they're in your life every single day and they're around your children, they are their step parent. They are raising that child with you. That child is learning because they're around you. They're in your energy. They're picking up your traits. They're picking up your habits. You're there for them. You know what I mean? So And that's what I mean. Like for the ones that's finally what I realized. I was like, oh my gosh, like my past boyfriends, I was like, yeah, I get it. I didn't push them to be stepfathers and stuff, but they were with me for a couple years and they weren't stepping up and actually being there for me and my children. Like, and it's not all about financial. I mean, just little things like being there, answering the questions, teaching them, listening to them, being supportive, being there, at their school events, being there at their sports events and things like that. Like it's a big deal, right? And that's going to psychologically affect that child if they're not. And then they feel unlovable because if you can't be there, like that's what I mean. If you're going to get involved with somebody that has children, you need to know that you're taking on that. Right? Unless you're just like, if you're just dating, like say you have a boyfriend girlfriend for a couple of years and you guys are just dating, but you're not living together and that's different if you're keeping it separate, right? And literally you're just keeping it as a dating. But once you're like in a committed relationship, and if you're going to be showing love to that other parent, then you better damn sure be showing it to that child. Things like that. Like, and I went through that, like, and I remember like I wasn't holding them accountable enough, my past boyfriends, and I should have. And I've got to see how that affected my children, right? Psychologically, right? Because they didn't feel that they were getting the love. They didn't feel that they were, so, but not my current boyfriend. He's stepped in and he's been there since day one, with the children, with everything. And he's always known that, it's like a full package, right? And that's what I mean. Like, that's why even us getting together, like we've only been on a few dates by ourselves because it's always involving the children. And that's because I haven't had anybody safe that I could trust my children with or whatever. So, and my children, have been through a lot. So, every situation is different. I don't know why I'm talking so much about family. Clearly this is coming up, but for some of you, like you're realizing this. So you could finally be realizing like, yeah, then I need to change my life. That's why for some of you, like maybe you do need to choose yourself and your children over just like a relationship or whatever if you don't see somebody stepping up. I'm just getting these big realizations. People are realizing there's just a lot of changes. So for a lot of you, a lot of these cycles and patterns, they're done, right? And it's telling me to show out there a little bit of my story. Like sometimes people come across that like you wouldn't think are ready to step up and be a parent and be supportive and all of that, but you'd be surprised, you could be with somebody that could literally just be holding you back from somebody, like I never would have thought that he would have took on me and my 4 children, right? And but he did. And especially with all of my children having their fathers not in their lives and lots of trauma and abuse that my children have been through throughout their lives, and having just me all alone raising my children, like still like it didn't stop them from taking on all of that and all the trials and tribulations and everything that we've been through. But that's why I know it's so powerful for me to share our story. And like that's what I mean, like we've had so much that's been up against us. And but it's like whenever I just think about all of these things, right? You got to look at actions more, not what people say. Don't listen to what people think, people's opinions. Look at what you see, you know. And when I sit there and I look at just all of the things, right, that he's been there for, court appearances, to getting my son out of lockup, right, to talking with police officers and agencies, and you know what I mean, to listening, to stopping whatever he was doing to listen to my children whenever they had a question, whenever they needed time, whenever they wanted to show him something. If they wanted him to be somewhere, he was there. If they wanted him to look something up, he would stop what he was doing. He would look up, and especially after being gone all day, some days working double shifts at his job, coming home tired, just wanting to eat and take a shower, and then he would just wait, right, for the children to finish playing their games, for them to have their showers, to do whatever. Just that's what I mean. For some of you, like you're realizing this, like you either have some of these people that you're realizing that are in your life, or you're realizing that you have some that they don't. really. They may say that they're supportive of you, that they look, but they're not helping you raise your children. There are some biological fathers and mothers that are there that are physically not raising the child and helping the child. And that's why I say you don't stay in relationships just because you have children, because that's who's parenting and teaching your child. And if they're not helping you, then you need to get out of those situations, because you could be holding back somebody that could actually be helping you, right? That'll be more of a father or a mother than their real biological father or mother ever could have been. You know what I mean? Like if I would have stayed with my child's fathers, right? My children I would have been depriving my children for the last 4 years of having that interaction, that love, that commitment, actually having a father there, because their real fathers were not there for them. Were not emotionally, not physically, not financially. Always, they were always about themselves. They were too broken, because I attracted them when I was broken, right? And stuff. But no. And that's why you don't force them to be in their lives either. Like that's not something. That's why the court system is wrong to do that. I get that they've been trying to do that because the children have been getting out of control, and children do need to have like boys, they need to have that masculine role model in their life. But if their real father's not doing it for them, you need to look into other resources, groups, sports, other things, getting them around. It's not getting around a broken parent that's going to show them narcissistic behavior and not show them love like that. That's going to give your child lots of psychological problems, right? If you're forcing a parent that doesn't want to be in their life to be there, right? And they feel unlovable, right? And they start to exhibit those behaviors, and especially like if there's bashing going on, where the other parent is constantly degrading the other parent, that's going to affect them a lot psychologically, right? It's not, if you can't have like parenting, like healthy parenting, then you should not be raising children together, right? It doesn't matter if you're biological or not, because that's not what makes a father or a mother. Love does. And it does not have to be blood and physical for them to be the best father or mother for that child. So, all right, I'm gonna leave this one here. This took off with a family message. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm heavily thinking a lot about cycles and patterns, and I've been dealing a lot with psychological trauma and stuff, that a lot with my son that he's been experiencing due to the abuse that his father has put him through mentally, physically, emotionally. And it's playing out a lot, and it's been a long time of us, a big healing path and journey because of that. So it's heavily on my mind. That's why it's coming out. But if you align with this reading and you're still here listening to this, then it's showing you some sort of message, or it's for somebody that you're connecting with, or maybe just for you to have this compassion for the future for somebody, or to give them help, or whatever. So love and light to all of you. I'm going to do another reading on this energy. So I'm going to get into Zoom Tarot, get another reading. Check it down below. Bye, guys.